Hey everyone, and welcome to this new speed build in The Sims 4. So today I'm building a restaurant in Sulani, which I was actually thinking using in my island living LP, because in that LP there are two Sims who just started officially dating, and I thought that it could be cool for the two of them to go to a restaurant for their very first official date, because they didn't really go into an official date together. They've spent a little bit more private time together, but they went to the bar, and I thought that it could be a little bit better, as I said, to go to the restaurant. And I decided to build a restaurant that was actually inspired from the cabins that you can find to some beaches, especially in the south of France. I've seen some of those in the north, but I've seen way more in the south. And those cabins are used to store some items for fishermen or people who own a boat, or sometimes people that are wealthy, because you need to own those cabins or rent them to be able to store items in those. And mainly it's for your bathing suits, as I said, your fishing items, your boat items, anything you need to go to the beach. And those cabins are actually very colorful, which is why I went with yellow, blue, and red as a color for those three cabins. And sometimes you can also see some that are orange, pink, purple, green. Some actually are white as well. And these cabins always, I thought, were very, very pretty and really cool. And the idea for this build was that maybe the owner of the restaurant saw some of those cabins just laying around and going into waste, and nobody was really using them. So they decided probably to take one of them, expand them a little bit, because these cabins here are way bigger than the cabins that you can actually see at the beach. And they've extended them, they've put them together, and they've kind of linked them and created their restaurant out of those cabins. And I thought that it was actually a really cool idea, and this build came together really quickly, because what you're seeing here is actually my first try at that build, which usually doesn't really happen. Most of the time when I'm building something, I try a first time and then I just scrap everything up and I try another time. Usually what you see being built is either my third or my fifth attempt into building the lot that I'm building, basically. But this time around, it was actually my very first try. And I had this idea just one evening as I was thinking about my island living LP and how I wanted the restaurant for Cabiny and Nori, who are the two Sims that I talked about earlier, for them to go on a date to. I thought that just having those beach cabins just to put together was a very cool idea, and so that's probably why it came together really quickly, but also because it's such a simple build that it looks really cool, and I like actually building simple builds. Also, something that I'm really happy with this build is that I've only used 3 packs. I've used the base game, Island Living, and Dine Out only, so basically just 2 packs, because the base game you needed to just be able to play The Sims. But yeah, I'm just so happy to have been able to use only those packs, and the idea was that because it's a lot that's built in Sulani, I thought that you required Island Living to be able to place it somewhere, and also because it's a restaurant, you need a Dine Out. So if you have those 2 packs plus the base game, you can place this lot and play in it right away without having to use anything else, which is really, really cool. And I had actually way more items than I could do with to build this place, and I'm just so happy with how it turned out. It looks very, very relaxing, very cool, and as you may have seen, I've also decided to place those lounge chairs on some kind of a deck, because I imagine that this place used to be a beach and that the owner just decided to keep this beachy vibe, first of all thanks to the cabins that were turned later into the main building of the restaurant, but also by placing those lounge chairs that maybe some of the customers here can go and use, you know, maybe it can be cool. So as for the interior, it's actually really small, and I tried to place as many sitting places as possible, but I was really imagining that this place was made to eat outside, because it doesn't really rain that often in Sulani, but maybe sometimes when some people come on holidays here, or maybe when some locals go and eat here, it's because it's raining, or I don't know, maybe sometimes the weather is just not nice and people just want to eat inside. So I wanted to have some seating places inside, and I've played and tested this lot. Everything works well. I was a little bit worried because the cabins are 3 tiles wide and 7 tiles long, so it's actually really small, but I've managed to place so many sitting places that I'm actually really, really happy that the lot works perfectly. So at first I was actually thinking going with a different type of decorations depending on the cabin you were into. So you have the yellow cabin that I was thinking I could go with a yellow theme, and then the blue one, which I could go with a blue theme, and so on and so forth. But I thought that with this arch that's separating the yellow and the blue cabin, it could actually look weird, you know, like you are in the yellow cabin and you see everything yellow, and then in the next cabin everything is blue. I thought that it could look a little bit strange, so I just decided to go ahead and mix however I wanted things to mix and match together. So yeah, it's more like rustic, and it has this island feel that I really like, and I used a bunch of plants everywhere. I actually struggled also a little bit when it came to the kitchen because it's such a small space, and even though I've played and tested this lot, I don't really know how the chef's kitchen is going to work out. I know that it works, but I don't know if you have many people here it's going to work well. I was wondering if maybe trying to add a second one would be a little bit more practical, but there is just no room whatsoever to be able to place another chef's kitchen over here. So hopefully this is going to work well. When I played and tested this slot, my sim actually got their food really quickly, way more quickly than ever, I think, in The Sims. I don't know if that came with the most recent update, but yeah, my sim just got their food, honestly, maybe 2 minutes after ordering their food, which usually never happens in restaurants, so I was really happily surprised. So I'm actually almost done with the decorations right now. I'm just placing some of the curtains because I thought that when the restaurant is closed, the owner would like for the windows to be covered by some curtains so that nobody can really see inside or maybe break in or whatever. I thought that it kept as well some privacy for people who came here. But yeah, this place is mainly built and made for people to go and eat outside, which is why most of the sitting places are outside, and one of the tables actually outside is in the middle of the deck, and I was really thinking about a bunch of friends coming here and you know, reserving, I guess this is how you could say it, the main table where there's the most sitting places for them to go and have a good time at the restaurant just together. And I tried to use as many decorative items as possible that came with island living because, you know, it's on the island, so that makes sense. Also, something that I'm really happy with is that I've managed to put into this build, in a way, the creative style of, not really creative style, but, you know, the creating of the styles, in a way, of the Sims that are going to be working here. So I've made a special outfit for the waiter and waitresses and for the hosts as well. And I've used, once again, only items from the base game, Island Living, and I think maybe a couple items from Dine Out, but I didn't use anything else from any other packs. But now that I think of it, because I've also made a custom menu, I don't know if that counts as adding another pack, because I wanted to go for a seafood type of restaurant, but because I'm a vegetarian and I know the struggle that it can be sometimes to just be able to go and eat at a restaurant without having to struggle with finding some food and, you know, just to be able to eat with your friends when your friends eat meat and you don't. I was thinking about that as I was building this restaurant, and especially when I was creating the menu, so I decided to add some vegetarian option into the menu. Though, as I said, now that I think of it, I might have used some recipes that came with City Living and maybe also with Cats and Dogs and maybe with Jungle Adventures, but I don't know if that counts as adding some packs. So if this actually does add some packs into the requirements for this build, I don't think it's that big of an issue. I don't think it's really a problem. It's just that you're not going to get access to some of the recipes. Other than that, everything is from Dine Out, Island Living, and the base game. And so here I'm creating the outfit for the hosts, which at first I thought was the outfit that I was going to go for the waitresses. I thought that I was working on the waitress outfit, but no, it was for the hosts. So there you go. I'm just correcting myself here. But yeah, I'm actually really happy with this build, and I'm really curious to know what you guys think about it. And yeah, so let me know in the comments what you think about this build. And you can of course download it from the gallery, the link will be in the description. You can also find it using my origin ID, which is Mojam11. And the name, by the way, of this place is Cabiny Rest, because I had no idea how to name it, and because it comes from those beach cabins and it's kind of a relaxing place to go to, I just decided to go and name it Cabin Rest, plus it's a restaurant, so there you go. A lot of inspiration in the names once again. But yes, so let me know what you think. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you in the next one.